Hello, welcome to week 5. The introductions are coming in very good, but please bear in mind that even though you may have sent your teacher a copy of your introduction, and even though you may have received feedback, general feedback about your introduction, you have not completed the task. The job is not yet done. The job won't be done properly until you have finished writing your report. And then, when your report is complete, you know exactly what information you need to introduce in your introduction. So you will have to rewrite your introduction, but you will be able to use the format that we have practiced in this last activity. I just want to talk about, for a few minutes, about what's coming next, what comes after the introduction. And I want to talk about the coherence of your ideas through your report, because like an essay, report needs to follow the same idea. Let's have a look. In your report, your findings is going to be your SWOT grid. And all the information on that grid is your findings. And then the next section is discussion, where you discuss each of those items in the grid. So you're talking about the same material twice. So there is definitely an element of coherence already there in your report. But if you are mindful of this, aware of this, you can make it even more coherent by just thinking about threats and opportunities in regard to the strengths and the weaknesses. So let's see how that works. We looked at Martino's salon and we made some recommendations about what would happen if he did or didn't do something. And one of the problems that people identified straight away with Martino's business is the poorly maintained salon. So this is a weakness. And we made some recommendations about what would happen if Martino did or did not improve the maintenance. And if he did not improve the maintenance, then perhaps the state board would remove his business license. So this is a bad thing that could happen as a result of this weakness, and that's a threat. So there is a connection between the weakness and the threat, and maybe the opportunity and the strength. However, that does not mean that every strength has an opportunity connected to it, and every single weakness has a threat attached to it. It's more fluid and it's more complex than that. One threat might have 2 or 3 possible weaknesses that it could affect. You just need to find a logical link, a way to move from weaknesses to threats or strengths to opportunities that will strengthen the coherence that already exists in your report. You don't want to overdo it, but you do need to be aware of it. Now, the next thing is the recommendation. And when you're making the recommendation, the very important thing is it's not like the recommendations that we made for Martino. We're not going to say, well, if you get a cleaning roster and everyone cleans the walls, and then, that's not the sort of recommendation we're looking for. So you need to go back to the email from the client, Ed Victor, and you can find that on page 45 of the student guide, and read the email again very carefully and make sure that you do know what the client is asking you to do, what recommendation the client might be looking for. So if you have any questions about coherence or the next stage, you can ask them here in the comments. If you want to talk about your introductions, you can email, but remember it's assessed work, so feedback will only be very, very general. Okay, talk to you soon.